I'm here with the boys from Dymytry to talk about the latest record, Five Angry Men, out January 26 on AFM Records. First of all, thank you very much for taking the time. We don't have five angry men right now. We just have three angry men if you count me, because I'm pretty angry all the time. So thank you very much for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank
Let's
you.
talk about this record. Let's talk about this album, and let's start off with that title, Five Angry Men. What was the main inspiration of the title of this record? Where did that idea come from?
We were on the tour bus on our last tour, and we were thinking about possible titles for the album, for the upcoming album. And Five Angry Men, we thought first laughed it off a little bit because it was just it sounded like a movie, and we're not angry people per se. You know, there's a lot of people in this world that piss us off, of course, but we're mostly in a good mood. And but that title still made the most sense, and it's catchy, and it looks great on our cover. And the tour is named after it, and so we hope to make an impact with it. And our fans from now on are called the Angry Army, which is pretty fitting. But we want nice, angry people in our concerts.
Did that title of the record also inspire the artwork of the album? Because there was a little bit almost of this Quentin Tarantino vibe
Yeah,
to the artwork.
exactly. That was the thing that we were going through. We're all movie fans, and especially also Tarantino, of course. And we were looking at uh, uh, the Seven, you know, the Tarantino movie. I think it's
Yep.
also the and we loved that poster, and we were having a couple drinks at a bar, and we were brainstorming. Can we do it? And what should be in it? And of course, there should be exaggerated things like weapons and crazy explosions like in action movies. And I took the pictures myself for the cover and for the booklet, and then we passed it on to a guy from London who is really good in Photoshop, as you could see on the cover, and he made it possible, and we love it.
Moving into the actual album and into what this record offers, do you, when you guys were putting the record together, how much thought process went from, okay, you know, these songs individually, they have great quality, they're super strong. How do we translate that individualistic aspect of the tracks into a more branching collective that will give you know, a more filling experience for the listener that's going to go from first to last song?
Oh, do you want to say something, Arthur? Or
Yeah, sure. Well, basically, it was very natural process. Very organically, we've been putting some songs together. We came up with the enemy list idea, I think. Then was some where everything is black. And then was the idea for a Five Angry Men song, and actually, it was very exciting because it's something absolutely new. We never ever made any hip hop song with any hip hop elements. So it was for us something new. We've been testing some new grounds. And yeah, it was really interesting, both musically and lyrically. So, like just like I said, normally, like naturally, song by song, and the album is here.
yeah, we approached it very organically and had heated discussions in the studio about lyrics and themes for the songs, and also where the direction should go musically. And we left it pretty open. We always like to challenge ourselves and to reach the next step of evolution in this band, to surprise our fans, to surprise us as musicians. And I think we made a huge step with this album, and I hope that the listeners can feel it, because there's no planning in sorts of way. This song has to sound like this, and it needs to be catchy, and this it all happens. We just let it go.
Well, when I was listening to this album, I felt this controlled chaos that exists within each and every single song, and because they're always taking you in different directions. I don't think there's two songs that have a lot of similarities to them. Is a very individualistic album from that standpoint, musically and vocally. And I'm listening to it and I'm like, this must be a headache to put together, because it's not like you guys are following a formula and what the first song sounds like, that's what the second song sounds like, that's what the third song sounds like. Is it as chaotic for you guys to bring all of this together and make some sense out of it? Or is just for me, the listener, that I feel that way because there's just so much movement?
Yeah, I think it's good that you feel that way, because we don't want to bore anybody. I think what we try to do is send every listener on a journey, uh, and we hope. I know these times are quite difficult with expecting people to listen to an album from start to finish, because there's Spotify, there's playlists. You always hear bits here and bits there. But if you listen to it in its entirety, it's like a roller coaster, and that's what we love, and that's what we hope the fans will appreciate it in the future. And like I said, it's not intended. It's just a bunch of things that comes together from our influences, because we have loads of stuff that we listen to, from death metal to rock music to pop music to hip hop to rap. We're pretty open-minded people, so and that resonates with the album, of course.
It's a record that, from my standpoint, has this a great journey built into it. Like it's a roller coaster ride, but one of those that you really don't want to get off. And looking back at it, how much time did you guys, or do you guys take any time at all to look at the previous records and see, okay, this worked really well, this worked really well. If we want to push ourselves and continue to evolve and create these sort of sonic experiences, we kind of have to learn from the past and what worked and what didn't work. Do you take that approach, or are you just always looking forward?
You know, we
Well,
didn't do anything like that. Actually, basically, the thing about Dymytry, that we have two versions. Actually, we have a Czech version of Dymytry with the Czech songs in the Czech language, and we
with the
have
Czech singer
international.
also.
Yeah, of course, and the
Yeah,
Czech singer, and we have international version with Alan.
yeah.
And the some songs on this album, on Five Angry Men, were already on our previous Czech record. Not all of them. I think five or six.
Hmm.
Five, I think. Yeah. So basically, we took the songs which we really liked the most, I guess, and which we thought that will make sense to make in English. And also, we wrote absolutely new ones to that, like Enemy List. It was a new song. Five Angry Men was also brand new. So
Death
we
By
just put
Trust.
together all those songs, and we never actually analyzed, okay, this was successful, let's try to copy that success. No, we don't really think like that. So we try just to make the things which we like and see what happens.
In what role does the production come in order to impact these songs? Because I really enjoyed the production on the record. I thought that was a great element of the album that enhanced all of the work that you guys had done. How important is that aspect for you guys, for an album to sound like a Dymytry album?
It's really important because lately, since 2020, I think, right? Arthur, no, earlier than that. We've been working with Christian Kohle, who is also responsible for some Powerwolf stuff and Electric Callboy, Aborted, and loads of death metal, actually. And the thing is, he's the guy that connected us when I came into play to be the international singer in that multiverse of Dymytry madness going on. And so he connected me with Arthur and the rest of the boys. And yeah, he's really important. He's like a sixth band member right now, because we come in with ideas. And I don't live far away from his studio, so I join him to do the vocals. Sometimes without the guys, sometimes the guys come over from Prague because I live in Germany. And yeah, and it was a process, and Kohle also directs us into the right direction. Then because it's always hard to judge your own material at certain points, because like you said, there's a lot of chaos, and there's needs to be somebody, the producer in that case, that brings a little bit of order in it and makes it tighter and just makes a little bit more sense out of it. And that's great. It's always an enjoyable part in the studio, and it's really important.
So basically, he's the sixth angry man.
Yeah,
Yes,
so yeah.
He's the
basically.
sixth
So,
angry man. One song that had surprised me on this record, maybe because of where it was in the track listing, was "Legends Never Die," the cover. You normally don't see bands putting a cover that early on. I think it's track 4, if I'm not mistaken, on the track list. Normally it comes down at the bottom of the record, almost like a bonus track. What made you guys move that song, that kind of song, that far up in the track listing? Was there a specific idea behind it?
Um, yeah, like I mean, we do whatever feels right. Because when you have the songs recorded, you come to the next process. You put all the songs together and try to come up with a nice flow. And it made sense to bring some kind of because there's a couple of heavy tracks in front of it, and then you want to bring down the tension a little bit. And I mean, that song has its own tension in a different kind of way. So it felt appropriate at that point. We on our last international album, we had "Somebody's Watching Me," the Rockwell cover, and it was positioned more in the at the end of the CD, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, it was just a spontaneous, emotional, I would say, thing that we did. That's how we do most of the things. It's just a gut feeling.
You guys mentioned the hip hop, the rapping vocals, like which is something new, and I like the fact that the track came at the end, so that style of vocals doesn't really jar the overall flow vocally that the record has because it comes at the end, so it's kind of like a nice bonus surprise at the end.
Yeah.
But how difficult it was for you guys to put that song together when you have that new style, something you guys haven't used before? Was it a challenging track?
Oh yeah. It was
I think
challenging, but
I
yeah.
think it started with the piano line. Basically, we came to the studio to our producer with the piano line, which is in the verse, and he said it sounds like a hip hop, and we're like, uh, maybe we should try that. Why not? Sounds like a challenge. So yeah, we just came up with a few riffs in the beginning, in the chorus, and there were I think like 5 versions of the choruses, right? Different choruses. So we just
Yeah, we tried a lot of
yeah, we
things, and
tried so many different uh, uh, stuff.
after
We
a couple of
just make
days
it
of
work.
bashing in our heads, we came up with the final version, and it worked for all of us. And we're really happy about that song. It's really actually right now, I think, the most streamed song currently, maybe because it's so diverse and something new that our listeners don't know. And I know a lot of people, older fans. They don't appreciate it as much as the younger people that are open-minded. And
I can see that.
it wasn't honestly, it wasn't even a calculated move because we just didn't think about it because we don't care.
It had a little bit of a new metal vibe. So for a guy like me that remembers that generational period of new metal being super popular, it wasn't. It didn't really shock me. I mean, and like I said, I thought you guys put it in the best place of the record to really allow the listener to enjoy the album, and then you have kind of like almost like a bonus track at the end.
Yeah.
So it was a nice way of setting it up. Is that the most challenging track from your guys' standpoint that this album has, or is there any other song that sticks in
Yeah,
your mind?
absolutely. I think that's the one where we had to leave our comfort zone. I mean, we all know new metal. That was a time when we also were musically active and listening to music. We sometimes even get labeled as new metal, which I think is not the correct thing because I wouldn't see us in a new metal category. I would say we're somewhere in between because we have power metal influences and sounds. We have traditional thrash metal riffing, groove metal, a little bit of this and that. So there's a lot of influences, but yeah, that track would be the closest to a new metal track, and I feel that that stuff is coming back slowly. I've seen a couple of bands coming up at the same time with similar stuff, and yeah, it was challenging, but we did it, and we feel happy about it because it's also the title track, and we offered something different and a new side of us.
I have to ask you guys about my two favorite songs on this record, and that is 1939 and In Death We Trust. And I'm not sure, well, technically I am sure that the lyrical content plays a huge role in how I connected with these songs because man, there's a lot of tracks on this record that really makes you want to have a good time, party up, and enjoy yourself. But these songs have a little bit more of a dark vibe to them because obviously of the lyrical content and the story that you guys are telling. Where did these songs? Where did the inspiration for these songs, at least from a lyrical standpoint, where did it come from?
Well, for In Death We Trust, we were at the studio and the instrumentals were done basically, and we always have a different approach. We just start with some gibberish and do some melody, vocal lines, and all of that, and then we sat down and we were thinking about possible topics for that song. And Gorgi, our guitar player, him and I were pretty much into history topics and all of that, and we said, why not try a topic about Oppenheimer's development of the atomic bomb? And it made sense with the whole the orchestral intro and everything to make it sound as epic as possible, and that was fitting. Same goes for 1939. I thought it would be a good idea to have a war theme and a warning to society, because we've been there, we've done that. I'm from Germany, uh, we have a different perspective on it than the rest of the world, of course, because everything was happening right here. And the message is we won't survive any new world war, and we're at the brink of extinction, I would say, because we're heading in a pretty bad direction at times, even though a lot of amazing things at the same time are happening in the world. And yeah, it was important to us to also make a standpoint on that, and to have a topic like that going.
When fans listen to this album, I have to give the bass player some props because when the fans listen to the record, everybody talks about the vocals, the dynamic, how much movement. Nobody ever spends any time talking about the bass. So I want to ask you, how was this record for you from a bass standpoint? Did you feel like you had enough room for you to flex your own muscles and flex your own wings to do what you wanted to do creatively?
Yes, of course. Actually, especially in the songs like In Death We Trust, in Five Angry Men, actually, it's very, very nice riffing, so I can play some nice lines. And also in the enemy list, actually, in the verse, you can hear a bass line, and it actually sounds pretty nice, I think. And sound-wise, it's the very cool, punchy sound with a lot of higher frequencies, so you can really hear in the verses this pick playing bass. So I think, yeah, it's actually kind of nice for me as a bass player too. I actually enjoyed recording this song, and I think mixes turned out really great. So I'm happy.
Yeah, and I was the
Uh,
first to mention it in the band that I like the bass too.
Yeah, no, the production behind the album is really exquisite because it gives room for all the different elements to have their own moment to shine. And when you were talking before about categorizing the band, it's almost like I think on my review that I pre-recorded, I mentioned modern metal because it has so many different influences. It's hard to find just one really
Yeah.
strict umbrella to put you guys under. But normally when you have this kind of sound, the bass becomes forgotten in the mix
Mm.
and you don't really hear it. You know it's there, but it doesn't really have an impact. And I thought you guys did a phenomenal job allowing for the bass, allowing for the guitars, the vocals, not just having the electronic side completely dominate everything, but rather allowing every single person to have some room to breathe and really flex your creative muscle. One last question for you guys. The album comes out January 26th on AFM Records. Beginning of a new year. With new year comes new hope. What are the plans for Dymytry in 2024? Do you guys have anything lined up already? Tours, shows, festivals?
Yeah, we're next week, actually, we're starting our first headline tour in Germany. with the release of the album at the very same day, we'll be playing in Frankfurt. So it will be our first headline show in Germany, and then in March we have 8 more dates. So this is our first ever headline tour outside of Czech Republic. So we're really excited, and we really can't wait to hit the road. And then in summer we have actually pretty many of some festivals, the major festivals in Europe, in Germany, I think something in Belgium, in Austria. So yeah, things are starting slowly, step by step, going better and better for us. So we really hope for the best.
Yeah, we got two bands on our building as well, Hi-Res and Bösefuchs, and we're looking forward to tour and to play again and to present the new material. We're gonna have a full headline show of about 2 hours, so that's a new challenge.
And Hi-Res is also releasing a new record this month as well. Same day as you guys, actually.
Yes.
Same day, yes.
And that's going to be perfect
guys,
because
you know,
gonna...
it's a big world, but it's a small world. You know what I mean? So
yeah, we have the same booking agency. That's convenient. And our booker asked us if they can join us, and I listened to it, and I knew them before, and as we said, of course, yeah, they're a great band, and it's going to be something for everyone. You know, it's going to be a good night.
I think you guys are going to do really well with this album. I had a blast listening to it. I had a lot of fun listening to you guys. I loved everything. I loved the music. I love the title of the album. I love that Quentin Tarantino artwork on the record. I think you guys absolutely nailed this album from top to bottom. So thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And all the best for you guys in 2024 with this new release.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Thanks
for
having
having us. Thanks for having us.